On the first week of class, or perhaps it was the second week, when I had you read The Elephant in the Village of the Blind in 2020, those very, very short stories, and I asked you at that time, are those little, slices, are they stories? And you all said, yes, they are, because a story is not determined by how long it is, but if it has those elements of the short story. Now, I pose that question to you again. Is Margaret Atwood's story, Happy Endings, is it really a story? It is not follow the conventions of the other stories that we have read. Now, Grace Paley's story is a type of metafiction because she is talking about writing. But it has a structure and it has a plot that goes from point A to point B to point C and has a beginning and a middle and an end. Now, Atwood's story doesn't do that. It has a definite beginning, but then it branches off and invites the reader to choose where he or she wants it to go. And then, of course, it has several vignettes, for lack of a better word. But is it a story? Is it a series of stories? And what is Atwood saying about plot and about structure? All of these stories begin the same way. John and Mary meet, and she says on page 70, well, so much for endings, and excuse me, I think it was on page 69. She says there's only one authentic ending, and it was page 69. John and Mary die, John and Mary die, John and Mary die. So the beginning is always the same, because in order for there to be a story about John and Mary, they have to meet. But the ending is always going to be the same. She's not saying the same thing Paley is. Paley says that the characters deserve an open end and they deserve hope. Atwood says, maybe in between, but ultimately there is only one ending, and that is that they're going to die. And that is what Paley's father is also saying, is that that is the tragedy. Look it in the face and accept it. So Atwood, then on page 70, if I get my pages right, she says, beginnings are always more fun. True connoisseurs, however, are known to favor the stretch in between, since the hardest to do anything with. That's about all that can be said for plots, which anyway are just one thing after another, of what, and of what. Now try how and why. So she is speaking directly to the audience. It doesn't have that same story feel that Paley's story had. So what is Atwood saying? She's saying that, the plot, it's a series of events. But why does the plot happen, and how does it unfold? And she tries to then get, or maybe I shouldn't say try. She exemplifies that in this tale, Happy Endings, by giving different scenarios. And it is indeed the middle part that is the difference. So, that is metafiction. And again, I posed the question, and as I did earlier, and in writing, is this a story? What is the plot? The characters are obviously there. The settings change. So this is something that you really do have to make up your own mind about. And is the plot as important as the emphasis that we put on it? Or is it merely simply a vehicle to get from the beginning to the end of the story? Yeah, some heavy questions. And we all wind up in the same place anyway, don't we?